Well, this is my great pleasure to have the opportunity to interview the creator of MiraMate, a wonderful magic for treating people with acute pain. And John White is here with us, so we will have the opportunity to ask him questions about his products and himself and how these products can help us. Here's the John. Hi, John. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you very much, Dr. Young. And how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And could you tell our audience about yourself?
Well, there's nothing really special about me, but I've become part of a larger movement of people that try and find solutions to illness. Um, I've invented machines and started a company, and now the company is creating these machines which help people that have got various health conditions. I believe that illness is not and should not be a part of life. I think that people should live long lives pain free.
How did you start discovering this technology in the first place, John?
I've got a small element of rebel inside me. I blame my father for that. But I went through formal education with university and everything else. I always at the back of my mind, I felt that there was more to learn, not what was being spoon fed to us students. Then family members became sick and some died. And I felt absolutely helpless, Dr. Young. I felt there was nothing I could do in my skill set to help them. I didn't have the knowledge, and I certainly didn't have the equipment. The only things that we could use were things you buy at a chemist or drugstore. So, complementing what I'd learned formally, I started investigating deeper. And I discovered that solutions have been known for an awful long time, but they're not common knowledge. And I decided, well, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to make what was known then, known now, and educate people, let them become their own health providers in many regards, learn about their diseases, their conditions, and how best to control it or eliminate it, and also create equipment that will assist them on their journey. So for a great number of years now, I've been inventing equipment, machines, devices, protocols, um, well, an awful lot of. I've been working very hard to reach my goal. I don't want other people to also lose loved ones needlessly. If you've lived a long life, you've lived to 105 and you've had a good life and you're still healthy and then you die, that's wonderful. If you live to 50 and the diseases start coming in, you get arthritis, you can't run anymore, or you find it painful, or you get more serious conditions, you can manage those conditions until you're 80. That's 30 years. That's over half your life you have been sick. Now, many people know you can address a lot of issues if you get them early enough. So we talk about nutrition, we talk about mental health, we talk about everything that is life, positive, and providing solutions for people so that not only do they live long lives, but they're happy lives as well. That's really been my goal for all these years. And between then and now, I've invented countless devices. Some of them were not invented by me. They were invented by people that lived 100 or even 120 years ago. Smart people lived back then, funnily enough. And they had open minds, and they didn't have any fear of exploring the unknown because much was unknown then. And they didn't take no for an answer. They'd work for years on the same problem, down they'd drill till they find the core of the problem. And what I've really done is gone down their path, found the discoveries that they made, and then brought it to today. Long answer. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's a great answer actually. And so there are many technologies, there's many ways of understanding and treating the human illnesses or health problems, if you will. And what made you pick this particular technology, and how do you describe it?
Well, my knowledge is quite broad. I've got several disciplines, but today I guess we're talking about pulsed EMF. Now, I started life as a teenager as an electrical apprentice, where I learned about electrons, current flow, the very, very basics. And from the very beginning, they taught us about magnetism. What they should have told us, just, even as an aside, was tell us that our body is actually electric and responds to magnetic fields. So it's certainly nothing new to me. It's quite intuitive. Whenever there's a current flow, there's a magnetic field. The magnetic field changes or has a connection to the valence electrons within your cells. So even on the atomic level, magnetic fields have an effect. So really, to me, it's quite intuitive, but it wasn't intuitive how to apply the magnetic field so it has a positive effect on your body. The cell phones that everyone talks to, carries around with them nowadays, they are harmful because of the frequencies and the magnetic fields. The frequency of the fields is quite harmful. The higher the field, the greater the energy, the greater the damage. So when we're talking about 5G, and I guess 6G is just around the corner, no doubt, this is not a good way of applying a magnetic field. But our body is magnetic and responds to magnetic fields. So if you can use lower frequencies and apply them in the right way, then you get quite a pronounced effect. Now, as part of my formal studies, we are taught that it's the rate of change of a magnetic field that will induce a current in an inductor. Our body is an inductor. Pulsed EMF creates a magnetic field. If you can get the pulses sharp enough, it will then permeate through your cells in your body and charge up your ATP, the batteries in your cells, the mitochondria. It gives you more energy, and it gives your body a greater ability to heal itself. No body wants to be sick, and there's mechanisms built into every one of us to prevent us from being sick. Applying very sharp pulsed EMF pulses, very different to the dangerous ones that are used in our cell phones and other communications devices. Very sharp, very brief, only 100 microseconds. That gives your body what it needs so it can fight disease or reduce inflammation or even just increase the flow of the lymphatics or your blood through your body so that it can remove toxins and allow nutrients to go to the cells. It's a win-win-win situation. But this is how it all started, I guess, with me thinking in my mind while I'm sitting at the back of the class, there's got to be more you can do with magnetic fields instead of just creating a generator. There's got to be more. I was hearing magic, but it was painted in black and white. I wanted to see the color.
There are many illness and disease. They all have a different kind of causes and the mechanism and etiology. How does this a technology pulsed magnetic electronic field therapy work for any particular conditions or all of the conditions? What is the common ground for this therapeutic effects?
If you want to corner me, I would say flow. Improve the flow through your body. Chinese people would regard it like the meridians, the qi through your body. If you get a blockage, it develops into a disease. Western people think of it in the nuts and bolts, crude sort of way where they think, well, cells need nutrients. If you get a blockage of nutrients, then the cells aren't going to receive the nutrients. Then they fester, it then becomes cancer or other diseases. Pulsed EMF improves the flow of nutrients and removing of the toxins. That will be the single greatest thing. There's other things as well, which is what I touched on before. If you drive an electric car and the electric car is almost flat, it will lose power, you won't go very fast. It may allow you to reach your destination, but it's not really doing a good job. But if your car is fully charged, then you're racing. You can just don't even give it a second thought. You hop in the car, go to your destination, do your shopping, whatever, come back home again. Pulsed EMF does is recharge your body. So it allows you to get up and go without really feeling that tiredness seeping through. Now, the pulsed EMF devices generally are quite large, but with this in mind, I've invented a small device. This is our smallest pulsed EMF device. We've got two. This one just clips onto your belt. You adjust the power level at the front and turn it on with a single switch. It's got a pair of coils. This is our single coil. We do have a larger quad coil, which is here, but you place the coils over your body, either between the coils or to one side of both coils when they're stacked. It produces a very sharp magnetic field. Now, you can't see the field, you can't feel it with your hand, but your cells feel it. Your cells absorb the electric current that is induced by the magnetic field, and it puts it to good use. Your body works on electricity. Your nerves, the flow of information through your nerves requires electricity fundamentally. And what pulsed EMF does is enhances your body. It's not replacing anything. It's not going to do something that your body can't do naturally, but it allows your body to do it much better. Long time ago, 10 years ago, they did experiments. Not us. We would never experiment on animals. But these scientists, they cut the bones of a rodent and they separated the bones. This is on several rodents, beyond the point where they were knit together. They had the group of rodents which didn't have pulsed EMF applied, and then they had the group of rodents that did. The rodents that had these either side of the fracture had their bones matched together. The ones that didn't just remained invalids for the rest of their short lives. It might have been more than 10 years ago, actually, because subsequent to that, NASA took an interest. Because NASA were going to the moon. Gosh, that was in the 60s. And they were thinking, gosh, there's not many doctors on the moon or on the spacecraft, to come and think of it. What happens if one of our astronauts breaks a bone or gets seriously ill? What can you do? And they've got to find a solution which is small and portable, because they don't want to add much weight to the rocket. I mean, they've got so many other things to take up into space, like their breakfast cereal. They don't want to have anything big and bulky for treating somebody if they're sick. And what they did, they invented a pulsed EMF device, which is very, very similar to this. Now, the waveform from this is precisely the same as NASA and in the same pattern. Because what they discovered was it's not just the sharpness of the pulses, it's got to be a particular pattern. And over the duration of the treatment cycle, there's got to be an overall zero charge. In other words, it's got to be a pulse here and then a pulse there, or several pulses here and then later on several pulses there. You don't want to leave your body in a state of charge or needless charge. So they did all this research and found the optimum values. Now we, as I have said, modeled this around their device. We've made it even smaller because electronics now is quite different from the 1960s. And then we did our own trials and tests and improved it a little bit. We now include the Schumann resonance frequency into this device. For your viewers, just a quick distraction. The Schumann resonance is the magnetic pulse that the Earth is continuously exposed to. It's caused by lightning strikes. When there's a lightning strike, the magnetic field that it creates rings around the Earth and bounces back again. Now, this is a regular set of frequencies. And another test, scientists were wondering, I wonder what happens if humans were not exposed to this Schumann resonance. And so they built a cage which negated the magnetic field of the Schumann resonance and had people living in this room. After a short while, those people became very, very sick. And they found that without the Schumann resonance, the magnetic field, the humans were getting quite ill. And when you think about it, Dr. Young, humans and all the animals before us that made us, we have been living in this field. So we are more than just used to it. Our bodies need it to synchronize mechanisms in our body. When you sit down, sometimes you want to relax. You want to listen to music. You don't listen to rock music to fall asleep. You listen to something melodious, some delicate tune that resonates with your soul. This is the Schumann resonance. It resonates with our bodies and allows us to be healthy. Without it, we lose our health and we become sick.
You mentioned about Chinese medicine. Indeed, Chinese medicine is about human energies, and it considers the magnetic electronic field in modern medicine a form of energy in life and called qi, and has a very complicated description of the energetic system called meridians. Indeed, the Chinese medicine consider any time when the energy channel being blocked, almost like similar than the arteries being blocked, it causes pain. So definitely I can understand from this perspective that this therapy through energetic magnetic electronic field can help with reducing pain. And you also mentioned about this therapy can charge the human energy like the electronic charge for the car. It's interesting. I also use car as an analogy for human body. We have a structure, we have a chemistry, the energy, and then we have a human driver,
Mm,
which I
mm.
consider as a human spirit or soul, is driving the human body. And so, can you explain to us, our audience, about how this magnetic electronic field therapy actually kind of charge the body and bring the energy to the body?
Certainly. Every cell in your body has a voltage, a potential difference across its membrane. That voltage is necessary for transporting nutrients. It's the way that the inside of our cells can shuttle goods in and out, nutrients in and toxins out, oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. Now, if you have got a reduced voltage in your cells may still be able to do the function, but not optimally. So it's running on one cylinder instead of 6 cylinders. And okay, a car that's not got all the cylinders working will still run. It'll still, or maybe run, but certainly not work very well. And there will certainly be bigger problems later down the track if you don't fix them. So, what pulsed EMF does is help restore the voltage across the cell membranes. So, it helps your cells to do what your cells are supposed to do. With regards to the Chinese meridians, I've been in China, I think 7 years now. I've found there's so much more what is discussed in other countries with health. Health is not only physical, health is on so many levels. How often, Dr. Young, you'll see one person die and then their partner, their husband or wife, die a week later. That's not pure physical, that's more than that. Our state of mind, our everything is our health. People that meditate, they're connecting closer to their body and they can live healthier lives generally because of this. On another level, diseases can be controlled through even controlled through meditation or even higher than that. Um, it's so many things which I'm sure your viewers would know about, which are just it's amazing on a Western perspective. And now I'm at the point of view where Western medicine is like having blinds over covers over your eyes, and things that are really obvious they know, but they don't know the subtle little things which are equally important. Now, it kind of makes sense that all diseases have a beginning and they have an end. At the beginning, it all starts from one little point in your body that goes bad. If at that point you can remove that little point, get it out early, then nothing bad happens. But if you allow things to grow and develop, then really bad things happen. What Western medicine tends to do is control disease. You got a headache? No problem. Take a painkiller. You know, headache's gone. Your body's telling you something. And Western medicine really trains people to not listen to their own body. If you have a sore joint, you can take a painkiller, but your joint can be the beginnings of inflammation. And the inflammation is going to get worse and worse. Your brain doesn't know it because this drug has cut the communication. Our body is our friend. Would you stop communicating with your friend? See, no, you enjoy talking to a friend. So why are we ignoring our own bodies? So pulsed EMF is a way of um, dealing to problems before they get beyond control. If you've got a sore knee, sore back, this is the perfect device to use because it gives your own body cells the energy it needs to heal itself. If you plant a seed, for example, you give it water, then you stand back and sunshine, allow it to have sunshine, and then you stand back. You don't poke a hole in the seed and then stretch out the plant. It knows what to do. It knows it's going to grow into a beautiful plant. All it needs is water, warmth, and sunshine. Our body knows how to heal itself. All it needs is the right conditions. So this is a device that helps with your body, giving the body the conditions it needs to overcome acute conditions.
Okay, great. Talking about this device, and how do people make decisions about whether they should buy this one or there are other similar products on the market? How is your MiraMate is a unique or different to other products?
I'll talk about the technical side, where our device has got one of the sharpest pulsed EMF pulses anywhere. So it's a very, very capable device. It's also got portability. You can open it up and put a 9-volt battery inside there, or you can run it off a USB port. So it's got the ease of use, practicality. It's only one on off button and a volume control basically. So it's very simple to use. Its computer inside there does all the work. The other thing I wanted to discuss was us as a company. I formed the company with the idea that all of our products are going to be affordable to everybody. You'd be surprised, Dr. Young, that the markup that people have on the pulsed EMF devices or other types of devices. Crazy markups. We're talking 1,000+%. Really crazy. So me as a person and the company I've formed, the people that I've employed, the whole company as a whole, we are very different from other countries. We don't do what we do for the money. We do it for the people. It's in my mind, there's got to be at least one company that really has the heart and soul of people rather than profit, expanding, growing, marketing, and all the rest of it. We are different. And I've got to make a confession here. I'm not a very good salesperson. If someone asks me, why is it a special device? Well, I can go through the technical reasons and their ears will sort of close up because it's too technical. My goal is to eliminate illness. If people can't afford my devices, how am I going to overcome illness in everybody? And I've got no desire to be rich. My desire is to help. I don't like to see suffering. I just want to see happiness in the world. My lifestyle and everything is focused on that. So I guess I'll answer the question in those two ways. It's better than the rest because of the way it delivers the magnetic field pulses, but it's also better because our company's better. We don't focus on the profit. We don't focus on the wrong things. We focus on the right things, which is the people.
Do you actually put this device in the area where there's a problem, or do you have a place where you put for the general health wellness?
I'll show you. You can do either, but generally, what people do, they just plug in the coils. This clips onto the belt, or you can put it into your pocket. I usually put it in my pocket, and then you just thread this through your sleeve the ideal is across the point of injury. This is the perfect device for acute problems. So if you've injured your knee, or a pain has just suddenly arrived, hello, I'm here, and you want it gone, you apply the coil either side of the painful joint. If it's something like on your stomach, you want to address something in your stomach, you can put the coils one on top of each other, and that doubles the strength of the field on that face. If you've got a migraine, I mean, pulsed EMF is one of the most highly studied types of frequency devices anywhere. There's hundreds of thousands of studies proving that pulsed EMF is good for this and good for that. It's why the FDA haven't banned these. They actually work really well. But I'm mentioning this more because they're discovering new applications for pulsed EMF all the time. And what they discovered relatively recently is if you have a migraine, you can place them here. Or if you've got a headache, place them there. And it reduces and then eliminates the headache because it helps with the circulation. With tinnitus, you place it over your ears, or if it's one ear or both ears. So it's good for ringing in your ears. It's one of these things you really need to have in your medicine cupboard, so that when you're sick, you open the cupboard habitually. You usually do it. Oh, that's right, I've got this. I'll use it. And, it's great because it doesn't introduce anything foreign into your body. And it only does good. There's no side effects. There's no warnings. Even pacemakers you can, but obviously not directly over the pacemaker. But you can use them if you have stents in your arteries. It's very, very safe. Very safe. As I say, it's been overstudied.
So, so how do you actually, when you place these two rings in the area of pain or across the area of pain, how do you fix it? How do you keep it in its place? Do you have a band that wrap around it?
We have several ways of doing it. It's a good question. If you have carpal tunnel syndrome or just have general sore wrist, we have a band here. It can be used on your ankle as well. Okay, you put the band, then you just slide the coil underneath. There. And we are away. So it's very simple to use this way. So that now it's being captured, and the wires, I would feed it through the sleeve. If it's through larger places, we supply a belt, which I'll show you. A stretchy belt. So it's nice and comfortable. It's nice and big, and it can stretch around your waist. A big problem, because humans generally walk on 2 feet, is the lower back problem. And so this holds the two coils at the base, in your lumbar region, to help your the joints in the lower part of your spine. We also supply a special medical tape, which doesn't leave a residue when you take it off again. But you put the coil on your body, you just put some tape over the top, and that's another way of securing the coils. So we've got all the bases covered. I don't think there's any part of your body you can't have this. Because you've got the straps and tapes and sleeve for it. And you can wear it during the course of a day quite discreetly, because you can't see the wires if you tuck them into your clothing. We have people with the main unit having it in their belt, on their belt or their pocket or their purse even, or even just resting it on their desk while they're working on their workstation. A lot of people, when they work on the computer for long periods of time, they get the sore back or sore sides. Well, this is absolutely perfect for that condition. When you get a sore back, if you don't address it reasonably soon, it can get much worse, because your muscles try and counter a misaligned back or a joint that's starting to, if a cushion's popped out, it's causing the stress. Well, the coils here actually do prevent the damage getting worse and help to allow the body to heal itself naturally. It's very, very good in that regard. Most of our customers are people that have got sore backs, but we also have those which have got migraines and carpal tunnel syndrome and other things as well. The list of things that this can do, the list of conditions that this can help, is very broad. So, basically you name a condition, especially an acute condition, and this is perfect to resolve that.
So I noticed there was a milli one. There's a big one. So how big is the milli one? Are different or the same?
Well, yes, this is our mini magic. I'll show you just before I answer your question. This is our quad coil. There's two of these, one on top of the other, so we can cover quite a large area even with mini magic. But we do have a big magic. We call them magic because they work like magic. They really do. Our big magic. Oh, this is the size. It's mostly the mat. Inside here is a mat. This is me struggling to get it out. This is, oops, sorry about the noise. That's the size there. It's designed to be, or either for doctors' clinics or for people's homes to be slept on or rested on. You can have it on your favorite chair and just allow large area pulsed EMF to be applied to your body. So it's a different way of applying the same fields. This one has got a small area effect, so it's very localized in one area. Whereas the big mat, if you have your whole back is sore, for example, if you're lucky enough to have a sore back from the top to the bottom, you'd want to use a big magic. So this is the mat. The mat has got a length of cable and it plugs into its magic box, which is this unit. Now everything's beautifully wrapped. I hope they don't mind me opening everything up. This is our main unit here. This is our big magic. So there's more power going to a larger area. So if you want to give your whole body a kickstart, a new battery for your car, you'd really want to start looking at this one here. Another difference between this one and its smaller brother is this is better for chronic conditions. If you have had a problem for a long period of time and it's just not going away, this is better suited for that. When you consider the mini magic, you've got to put a battery into it and then clip it on, put the strap on for the coils. It's a procedure you've got to do each day. Once you set it up into your bed, you can turn it on, you can leave it on 24 hours. It doesn't take much power, and you can forget about it. And in fact, this is what I can't say which family member it is, but I gave him one on his birthday, and he put it in, and then he promptly forgot it. He's in his 90s, well into his 90s, and he put it onto his bed, and then he forgot it. And then I was chatting to him, and he says, "You know what? My knee pain's gone." And then he told me he remembered that he'd had this on his bed. And it was sort of like working in the background. It's like a natural little helper. He made his he was actually treating himself 8 or 9 hours a day, or night in this case, without even thinking about it. And so to this day, I'm sure even as we speak now, he's got it on. He's in a different country, but when he's sleeping, different time zone to us here now, he is getting better. He's treating himself. Actually, his birthday's today. Happy birthday! I think he's 93. I'm pretty sure it's 93 now, and he's strong and healthy, and he's got all his mental faculties. There's been shown that pulsed EMF is even good for the brain. People have this large mat under their pillow. They dream better. They sleep better, I should say, and they dream better. But because it helps with your overall flow, your brain doesn't get any pockets of stagnation. Your brain keeps more malleable, more flexible, more healthy. And it's helped people in that regard as well. So that's really the difference between the big magic and its smaller brother.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. It helps almost everything. And that also raises a question is that does it work for everybody and what kind of people respond better than others?
Okay, I can't say it works for everybody. What I can say is work for the people that have tried it, and there's been an awful lot of people. As with anything, the sooner you can address a problem, the better the outcome. If you cut yourself, you don't wait 2 days before you put a bandage over the cut. You put the bandage over straight away. And if you're really wise, you throw a bit of honey on there first. But virtually everybody, it will work. It'll do good. If you have got a good connection between your mind and your body, you will notice the change better. You'll notice the improvements in your body better. We find that people quite often do meditation on the mats, and they find that it helps with their meditation. It helps them go deeper into the meditation. If the disease is caused by a pathogen, like a virus, mold, parasite, bacteria, pulsed EMF won't really work because it doesn't kill pathogens. There's other devices which we make which do, but pulsed EMF won't help there. So if your condition is not pathogen related, like it's an injury, a physical injury, pulsed EMF will help tremendously.
So it sounds like since this is magnetic electronic field therapy, which is intervention for human energies, it works the best when the problem is more energetic, like fatigue, some dysfunction, as well as pain.
Yes,
It doesn't seem to work as
yes,
well if it is chemically caused, like a bacterial virus or other chemical toxicities, infections. Am I right?
that is correct. If when you put out a fire, you want to throw water on the fire, not around the fire. And if some condition is caused by some undesirable little germs in your body, we'll call them germs. You want to get rid of those germs, and Pulse TMF isn't the device for that.
Great. I see you have a sales going on your website. I'm showing your website. You see that? And it has some sales going on and a discount going on for the Christmas. And I think it's a great website. It has a lot of information and the customer service. You have 30 days refund guaranteed. And you also have mentioned that as a American FDA registered, and you have a
Yes.
free shipping globally, and you have 24/7 support. It's incredible what you're doing for people, and I think you got great reviews as I see here. You got 285 reviews, mostly 5 stars, 5 stars, mostly 5 stars. It's amazing.
We work really hard to show people that we're not like the others. I think we're not. We've got charities that we've created, foundations, and all the rest of it. We really want to make a big change in society as a whole, and we're doing our best to make a positive change to the world as a whole. So everyone, even if or if anyone buys anything from us, they indirectly donate to the charities, and we donate the money from their sale in their name. Each customer gets the blessings from the sale. It's we are very, very different from other companies. We don't say like, oh, we donate 1% of our sales to charity, and then the charity gets their cut, and then eventually a few pennies or dimes might make their way to to the people who need it. We make sure that the charities and foundations that we have and those that we support, everything goes to the people that need it.
I just want to make sure our audience know and what this MiraMate would do for what conditions. I see something listed on your website: fibromyalgia, stress, insomnia, and acute pain, maybe chronic pain, fatigue, and anything I'm missing here.
Look at the list myself, because honestly, it's very extensive what it can do. The health conditions that it helps is incredible. I'm trying to find a list. If you what I generally do is look at the scientific journals rather than sales sites, and if any of your viewers want to look at peer-reviewed journals on pulse TMF studies and what pulse TMF can address, they can go to the scientific literature, and they'd be amazed at how many conditions it can help. We've got on our website, which is MiraMate.com, a lot of information on pulse TMF, but we've got so many other websites which explain everything that it does. It's basically allowing your body to fix itself, so reducing pain and inflammation. But also it does things which you wouldn't normally associate, like reducing allergies and improving your respiratory system, making your sleep and mood better, reducing stress and helping your mental performance. All these things and so much more is because our bodies are electric. You use it for arthritis, stroke rehabilitation. If you've got stroke or any other soft tissue damage or hard tissue damage, Pulse TMF can help in that regard. People use it also for skin aging, psoriasis, eczema, cuts and bruises. When a friend of ours broke the bones in their body, in their body, in their foot. Teenagers doing a backflip. We learned about it. We rushed to his home. What did we have? We bought the mini magic. We showed him how to use it. Put the coil either side of the brakes. It was, I think, 3 or 4 bones broken. The hospital was amazed how quickly the bones healed. It was both bones and the tendons were damaged as well, and they weren't broken cleanly. The hospital, he had an operation, he got pins inserted, bones, placed back in location again. And the recovery time was probably reduced. The recovery rate was twice as fast as normal. The doctors said you should be walking in about 6 weeks. He was walking quickly in 3 weeks, unaided by crutches. He healed incredibly fast. The unfortunate thing now is he's got to have another operation to get these pins removed.
That's great information. And thank you, John, for sharing all this with us and this wonderful product. Do you have any last words you want to say to our audience?
Yes. If you are sick, learn. Find out the cause. Find out the solutions. Apply the solutions. Be your own doctor. You are the person that's tolerating pain 24 hours a day. You're the best person to fix yourself. Look for answers. I like to think that what we provide will help you walking down that path. But don't be lazy. Don't go to a doctor only for a short time and then forgetting about an injury. Certainly, go to a trained, registered medical professional, but the time between visits, do your own learning, find out the solutions, and apply those solutions the best you can.
I work with a lot of dancing students that sometimes they get a little bit injured here and there. I couldn't wait to try your products on them.
Yeah, it'll be perfect for that, especially for an injury like an acute condition. Yeah, dancing, it puts tremendous strain on both the joints and the tendons. So this little unit here, the mini magic, will be perfect for that.
That's great. John, thank you so much for talking to me today. And I would give you more feedback as our audience trying your products and then giving us feedback. And I would love to follow up with you on that. If you have a new developments of these products or any new products, please share with us as well. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.